Hey all, welcome to ShareTreck. This is Raj here. Good morning. The US stock markets are set for a powerful open today, capping a week of historical tech strength and headline economic shift, the likes that we haven't seen in the recent past. And major indices continue to flirt with fresh record highs led by Intel's jaw-dropping run of 30% in just two sessions. And before that, if you remember, Oracle jumped again another 30% earlier. So those kind of spurts are happening. And Intel especially went up after NVIDIA's landmark 5 billion investment and deep partnership news. And this AI-powered alliance turns Intel from a laggard to a central player in the global chips arms race. And new data center and PC products are on the deck, especially the GPU and CPU communication. If it becomes much faster, gaming PCs and even general PCs will have a lot of refresh cycles getting triggered, because it will be worthwhile getting into an upgrade cycle. And along with that, I would anticipate a whole lot of software improvements, AI-enabled software. So the face of the PC market is likely to change. And AMD might have some problems out here. I want to show you a little bit of a chart that I have for you guys. Okay. So if you look at this chart, you would see NVIDIA desktop PC share and gaming PC CPU share. Those two CPU shares for NVIDIA has been negligible, but in discrete GPU share, it was around 24%. Now, and AMD, if you look at it, it has 33% share in desktop CPU, and in gaming CPU, it has got 40% share. Intel had 67% share in desktop CPU and 60% share in gaming PC CPU. And AMD has been muscling into the CPU business and taking market away from Intel. And Intel had its own problems, but Intel has been receiving a whole lot of money from the Biden administration. And when Trump administration came in, they said, oh, okay, all that money is not for free. We're going to charge you by asking you to give us equity instead. So they got 10% stake. Now, the government also controls what NVIDIA can sell and cannot sell. So I don't know what happened behind the scenes, but NVIDIA has invested money in Intel and Intel had put money in Foundry. So this kind of represents a little bit of weakness for both AMD as well as TSMC. And if Intel plays its game right now, I think Intel stock can really get a boost. But everything is now becoming a house of cards, because it's all incestuous relationship between all these companies. It's not that great for retail investors like ourselves. So that's what I would like to say when it comes to this particular situation that we have with regard to the CPU business. Okay, now having said that, let me get back into what I was talking about, my original thought process. NVIDIA's move is also being held as a strategic win for US tech competitiveness against China when you look at it from a geopolitical perspective. And that is adding fresh fuel to market sentiment, and that's what is keeping the markets up, in my opinion. FedEx also joins the winners list with a sizable beat on earnings, sending the transport sector higher and signaling some resilience in consumer demand amid monetary shifts. Pre-market speculative names like AGM Group Holdings and Alpha West Acquisition and 22nd Century Group clocked triple-digit moves, further strengthening retail traders. Despite the bullish tone, I personally think labor market cracks are showing. Recent benchmark revisions to US jobs data were jaw-dropping, and it revealed that the economy added nearly 1 million fewer jobs over the past year than first reported, the first downward shift since 2002. Average job growth is also slowing, new jobless claims are elevated, and business closures are quietly rising. While September jobs report was not catastrophic, fading wage momentum and stalling hiring reinforced the Fed's rationale for its rate cut and signal a real risk for household income and spending into the year end. Now, if the household and the consumer get weak, if employment drops and people are not able to spend, then the logical question is, how will companies have margins? How will companies meet their top line sales targets, right? So right now we are in the phase where bad news is good news, and therefore whenever there's a bad news like this, the market is focusing on the fact that there's going to be more money coming in, and it's going to be free money, and it's juicing up the market. But at some point, that's going to change, and we are going to look at bad news as bad news. That's when the drop will happen. I don't know when. But on the bright side, Tom Lee of Fundstrat has doubled down on one of his boldest calls in crypto, a target of $200,000 for Bitcoin before the year end. According to Tom Lee, aggressive Fed rate cuts and seasonal Q4 tailwinds could trigger historic inflows and unleash monster moves into both Bitcoin and Ethereum. Institutional adoption, ETF launches, and AI integration are also pushing Lee's thesis, though some skeptics see rising macro and regulatory risks that could keep gain in check. Still, Bitcoin remains an epicenter of retail attention as the macro backdrop shifts and more companies like MSTR start accumulating Bitcoin, which is going to be out of the circulation and staying in the treasury of those companies. And also remember, there are a lot of Bitcoins that have been lost because people lost their crypto wallet or lost their passwords or something like that. So overall, the limited amount of Bitcoins being available, there's a finite limit, makes many analysts think that Bitcoin would end up being much more pricey and better than gold in the long term. It's to be seen, but that's what I have for the pre-market commentary today. Having said that, let's go on and have a look at our TradingView platform and check out what we have got here, what the markets are indicating to us, if we can game out something. S&P 500 futures are up very marginally, 0.06%, and we have the resistance out here at around 6,837, and support, I think the first support is going to be at 6,622. Market sentiment is bullish. Everything is going great for S&P 500 futures. Nasdaq futures is also up mildly at 0.09%. And we have support, I believe, at 24,320. And we'll have resistance at around, I don't even need to point out the resistance because it's all blue sky out here. Now we are looking at the dollar index, which is improving, and it has gone up above the resistance that we had at 97.28. So I'm going to mark that as green. This is a positive, and this should be weighing down the market a little bit. And then we have VIX, which has gone down around 1.15%. That's a good thing for the market. Gold is going up again, back up again, 0.12%. This is the inverse of the weakness that we might see in the US dollar. But at this point of time, we are seeing that both dollar as well as the gold prices are moving in the same direction, that is upwards. So that kind of indicates that market is definitely starting to look at the bad news pieces like the weak job market, etc. That's why gold is moving, still moving up, while the dollar index has gone down. A little bit of adjustment happening out here. Put call ratio is absolutely bullish, and I think if we look at the long-term yields, they're also going up. Long-term yields going up is not great for the mortgage market. I'm also looking at the Canadian 5-year yield, which is important for the Canadian housing market. That's also going up. So this is not great for the housing market. But let's go on and have a look at what's happening with the indicators. And we can see S&P 500 is still within this parallel channel that we have out here. And for today, the parallel channel offers a resistance at 6,643.58. If we break through above this, then this becomes a support, and we'll have resistance at 6,721.20. Market sentiment is bullish. MACD is bullish. Momentum is super strong with plenty of room on the RSI, even though we are going to be very close to being overbought. In the past, we have easily gone to 76.95 on the RSI scale in the very recent past. So I think there is room on the S&P 500 to move up. NASDAQ is it's actually out of this parallel channel, and the parallel channel now becomes a support. And for today, the support is 24,433, and the resistance is going to be somewhere up here in the region of 25,128. I don't think that we are going to go up like that in one day, but overall, I think that there is movement upwards. There is plenty of room upwards. RSI also has some rooms out here. Yes, my shorts are also getting shorted. Killed really bad. I have reduced my shorts a little bit, but it's still hurting. QQQ is up 0.19% in pre-market trades. It's opened above yesterday's. And yesterday, I thought was a topping tail, but that verdict still remains if we do not clear above 598.26 today. So I'm going to be watching this very closely to see if this becomes a topping tail. If it gets distinguished by being above that, then I'm okay. And then I would say that we'll have this diagonal line of resistance to contend with. But for today, I would say that we have a support at 589.59. XLP continues to do slightly better than XLY, but both of them are on a downward trend. XLP is down around 0.86%, XLY is down 0.50%. So there is this kind of tug of war between these two. And ultimately, if bad news happens, then XLP should perform better than XLY. That's what I'm watching for out here. And then let's go on and have a look at AI. In AI, we have NVDA, which is down 0.34% in pre-market trades. We have support at 173.72. And I think if we have a resistance, that's going to be at 179.74. Overall market sentiment is bearish. MACD is also bearish. However, momentum continues to be above average, and if momentum picks up, then all bets are off and things can move up. Meta, as I said, is under a reverse head and shoulder pattern, and therefore it's marching upwards. I would say that it has a resistance at 793.45. It pierced that in the last 3 days and came back down. And today it's at 782.31 in pre-market. So I would say that we have resistance of 793.45 for today for Meta. And Google is up 0.19%. It has a bull flag out here, which I think is trying to manifest itself. There are only three candles out here. So I cannot say that we have a breakout or anything. It's yet to be seen whether it's a bull flag or a bullish pennant, or if we are just continuing to move upwards. But overall, the chart seems to be bullish, and we seems to be running into kind of constraint at the RSI out here. We seem to be running into some minor resistance at 88.48 out here on the RSI scale. So that's what is happening out here. But overall, Google is bullish. Amazon is up 0.38%, still riding this diagonal line of support. And for today, the support is going to be 231.69. Right now, we are at 232.112. And our resistance is likely to be in the region of $234. Apple is up 1.14% in pre-market trades, and it's looking positive today. And it has got a support, I would say, at around 237.84, and I think it has a resistance at around 243.69. Microsoft is up 0.25%, and it's got a resistance at 515.39, and it has got some support, I would say, at around 506.74. Pre-market, it's up 0.25%. It's at 509.71. Tesla is up 0.83, and it's consolidating out here. It's coiling up. It's kind of a bullish flag formation, and maybe it would break out further because market sentiment is bullish. MACD is kind of weakening a little bit. Momentum has also dropped a little bit. The RSI is cooling off. We'll see what happens with the Tesla. I don't want to take a chance on Tesla because Tesla is totally unpredictable. Anyone who shorts Tesla burns their fingers. I also burnt my fingers. It's still burning. We'll see what happens with Tesla going forward. But Oracle is starting to give up its gains. It's up 0.39% in pre-market trades. But the last 3 sessions, it has been down. So it's likely to pursue its trajectory downwards with the aim to do the gap fill out here for the gap up that happened, which is a phenomenal gap up. So I think it's a lot of consolidation and downward movements is due for Oracle, in my opinion. AMD is down 1.04%. AMD is definitely likely to suffer with the alliance that's taken place between NVDA and Intel. Look for a whole slew of PCs which are going to take advantage of the link between the CPU and the GPU. That's going to be the centerpiece of this NVIDIA and Intel alliance. And therefore, we are going to see this target of the double top being achieved. We are still below this diagonal line of resistance, the minor line of resistance that we had at 158.21. And I think we are on the way down. Now, let's look at SMCI, which is down 0.50%. Resistance today is at 47.30. Support today is going to be around $44. Broadcom is up 0.13%, but it's moving towards the gap fill out here, in my opinion. We had a bear flag which came down, and we are forming the second bear flag, in my opinion. Palantir is down 0.55%, but still riding this diagonal line of support out here. And for today, the support is going to be at 172.96. Right now, we are at 175.97. And if you look at SMH, I think SMH is down 0.32%, and it has got support out here at 309.34. This will be a strong support, and it's a gap up that we are going to fill up out here when we come here. So we'll watch it until that point of time. Tempus AI is up 0.38%. It wants to break this all-time high, and we have a target out here which will take it somewhere closer to 95.47. I don't have Tempus AI. I have taken the profits already. And today, I would consider probably entering in for a very short-term period. Maybe end of the day, I might try to get out. APLD is down 0.60% in pre-market trades. And I want to see if it's a trend reversal or if we are forming a bull flag out here. So I would like to wait and see what happens going forward. And was asking about Intel Corporation. Intel, I think, is trying to do the gap fill out here. It was a very heavy jump, and many people who must have had a lot of losses in Intel who had bought in this area out here, they all must have started taking profits, and they're evaluating whether this is going to be a long-term gain and at what rate Intel will settle. So I think price finding is taking place. So I don't know what's going to happen out there. The RSI has to cool down. The market sentiment is pretty bullish. MACD is super bullish. So a lot of cooling down is in order for Intel, in my opinion. Rigetti is continuing to see a lot of gains due to the CRSP alliance. It had a whole lot of green candles, but now it is giving up those gains. It's down 1.66%. All of these good news has a huge spurt, and then things start to level out. I think the support is going to be at 22.04 for Rigetti. And with that, I think I would like to go and have a look at Genomics. And Genomics Prime continues to move towards our intermediate target of around 5.24. Take care, Inv. See you later. And we are going to reach this target of 5.24. Today also we are up. We are at 5.14 in pre-market trades. And remember, our long-time target is 7.24 from the bigger bull flag. But I think to reach there, we're going to create a lot of smaller bull flags and go up to there. We're in the right track. Intelia is down 2.30% after a huge gain that we had earlier. And I think we are going to do a little bit of consolidation because RSI is overheated. And we have a very bullish MACD. Both of them need to cool off a little bit. The consolidation is in order. And we have already shooted above our reverse head and shoulder target of 15.72. So I would say 15.72 could probably become our first level of support for Intelia. Caribou has no trades pre-market. Beam Therapeutics is down 0.36% after a heavy gain that we had yesterday of around 11.8%. And I think a little bit of consolidation is in order. But I would say that there is plenty of room on the RSI. We can go all the way up to 76.61 on the RSI. We are just at 72.69. It's not essential that we have to go and touch that level on the RSI scale. So a consolidation out here would not surprise me. Altimmune is flat in pre-market trades, and it has got support at 3.37. And it has got a resistance, I would say, somewhere around 4.31. Editas is down 0.33% after a huge gain yesterday of around 10.29%. I would say cooling is still in order. Market sentiment is still bearish, trying to become neutral. So this sudden spurt of bullish sentiment due to whatever factor might have been there. I can't find any news report to help that. If any of you have any information, please put it in the comment section. But this seems to indicate that there will be a little bit of cooling out here. Illumina is down 0.87%. It could not sustain above this diagonal line of support. Right now it's at 102.13, and this diagonal line of support is also somewhere around 102.13. So I'm going to leave this untouched. I would say that we are testing the support today. Resistance is going to be at 103.41. If we start coiling within this narrow wedge, then the potential of us breaking out on the upside is higher than the downside, because overall we are on the bull track so far. But we should also remember we had a head and shoulder pattern which is bearish, which did not trigger. So I'm thinking let us look for the coiling out here. If we coil out and then we break out upside, that will be the biggest positive possibility for Illumina. CRISPR is up 0.49%. And it continues to have support at 60.65, and it will have a resistance at 63.76. Right now we're at 63.25. And then if you look at Allogene, it is up 0.83%. It has got resistance, in my opinion, somewhere around 1.27. Right now it's at 1.22. Grail is down 0.25%. It has got a support at 37.61. PACB is up 0.78% in pre-market trades. ARCG is up 0.45% in pre-market trades. Support continues to be at around 26.66. I don't know why this is marked red. I'm going to mark it green. Vertex is up 0.06%, still consolidating. It's not triggered the double top. If it triggers the double top, then we could fall further. So it's a very critical time for Vertex. Ginkgo Bioworks is improving. It's up 0.79% in pre-market trades. And for today, the support is going to be at 11.36. We are at 11.51. I don't want to jinx this, but we seem to have broken out of this trend line, and probably this could become a superior bear channel, or it could indicate the creation of a bull flag and then moving up further. So that's what I'm looking forward to. And if this was a bear flag, I think we have already canceled it out. And if we break out above 11.96 today, I'd be really happy. And I would say that it's first sign of bullishness in Ginkgo Bioworks. That said, I would like to look at Precision, which continues to go down. We still have a support at 3.64, which has not been broken. There has been equity dilution, and we'll have to watch what happens out there. And let us look at Lilly. Eli Lilly is down 0.08%, and I'm going to pull this out here. And I would say that Eli Lilly is continuing to look positive. I would consider this to be the formation of a bull flag. And I want to see more candles out here. Right now, I would take the mild positive that I have. If there's a bunch of candles that come here, 3 or 4 days of candle, then I can look forward to it being a bull flag or a bullish pennant and look forward to a breakout on the upside. And then we are looking at Rare, which is Ultragenics. And Ultragenics has got no trades pre-market. It's not doing that great at this point of time. It has got resistance at 29.57. So if we break out above the resistance, I would be happy if we can form a base out here. And we have Rocket Mortgage, which has got a cup and handle target, but this bull flag is still consolidating, and we need to break out on the upside in order to reach our target, which happens to be 28.59. I'm not seeing anything negative at this point of time. We have a bit of positive out here, 0.09 positive, which is kind of negating yesterday's whatever we gave up. But overall, I don't have much to complain about on Rocket Mortgage. So that's that. And then what else do we have? Currencies. Let's go and have a look at Bitcoin out here. Bitcoin happens to be down 0.54% at this point of time. I've still not given up on Bitcoin. I'm thinking that Bitcoin is likely to break out on the upside. It has got a resistance of 119.97. And if Bitcoin did come down towards the bottom of this parallel channel at around 110 or something, I'll definitely buy some Bitcoin out here. And then I'm looking at Solana. Solana continues to look good to me. this was a bull flag, and then we broke out on the upside. And I'm thinking that instead of meeting the entire target out there, we are probably creating another minor bull flag. And I want to see a few more candles to see if this becomes a bull flag, and then we break out on the upside. Or else I'll be looking this as a topping tail in this section, and we need to neutralize that by going above 254.07. So let us see what happens here, whether we have a consolidation which becomes a flag or a pennant, and then we move out upward, because everything else seems to be looking good. And then let us go on to look at XRP. XRP, we have a target for XRP out here, minor target of 3.34. And overall, the bullish pennant was broken. And for that, we have a very super target of 4.64. I'm still holding my XRPs. And today's action is not very encouraging. We are down 0.98%. But I'm going to watch out and see what happens out here. Market sentiment is bullish. Overall, I'm not too much worried about XRP at this point of time. We'll see what happens as the market opens. So that brings me to an end of today's session, unless you have any tickers that you want me to look at. I don't know if Hot Dog is around, but if he has got something out there, some ideas to talk about. And thank you so much. I would like to end this session here. I got a bunch of showings today. I have a client for whom I'm trying to help buy a house. So today is going to see us doing a whole lot of East Toronto, and on Sunday it's going to be Oakville. So a lot of interesting things happening for me on my real estate side, and I'll keep you guys informed. There's a little bit of movement in the Toronto real estate with the rate cut announced. Let's see what happens. Okay then guys, bye for now. I'll catch up with you again in the next video. See you later.